We're going to take a look at the cost of crime here in the United States. Currently, there are 1.6 million people behind bars. No country in the world incarcerates a higher percentage of its population than the United States, and it imposes a significant economic burden. In 2010, the cost alone was $80 billion. And according to the U.S. Attorney General, it's impossible to calculate the human and moral costs. More than 650,000 people are released every year from prison, but studies show 2/3 of them will most likely be rearrested, and half of those are likely to return to prison. So, the question is, why does the U.S. have such a high level of problems? And why is it so hard for former inmates to stay out of prison? Roza Kazan for CCTV has this special report.
This is my intern. You want to give them your name?
Leslie Brown is a busy woman these days, running the support center for women just out of prison.
They have 2 full complete baths up here.
Over 2 decades ago, she was one of them.
They charged me with the max.
Brown was granted clemency after serving 7 years of a 20-year sentence for conspiring to commit murder of her abusive husband. 6 years later, she opened Leslie's Place in her own home for women released from prison.
I had no money when God gave me the vision to do this, and I just took the ladies for the first 3 years, and nobody paid me anything. I just wanted to help them so they wouldn't have to go back to prison. First, you have to go sign up.
She says while in prison, she saw too many women come back.
They would tell me there's no resources for women. They said they couldn't find a job, they had no money, had no housing, and those things would cause them to go back out and do the same thing that they did to get incarcerated again. It was a revolving door.
My zeal has consumed me because my enemies have forgotten your words.
Regina Givens is one of those women. At 49, altogether, she spent almost 2 decades behind bars. She is now on electronic monitoring and could have stayed with her daughter, but chose to come here.
It just pushes me more to do what I need to do for myself. Every program I can get in, I'm in it. I'm in Safer, Chicago Commons, Westside Health Authority, Healthy Families. Then I just signed up again with the lady from Footprints. Any program and any help I could get, I'm going for it, because I can't go back to prison.
Leslie hopes Regina will be one of the nearly 90% of women who stay here that never go back to prison. But the reality is more than half of former inmates in the United States are reincarcerated within 3 years after their release. Walter Boyd is the executive director at St. Leonard's Ministries, a reentry program that provides free counseling, food, housing, and classes. He believes this stigma of having a criminal record is the main reason why so many former prisoners fail to rejoin the mainstream.
There are many employers who will not knowingly hire someone with a criminal record.
In fact, most employers in the United States include a criminal background question on their job applications, something staff here believe is a major barrier.
You filling out an application, you get to that box, and if you check it, yes, I've been arrested or incarcerated, the person that's doing the hiring for the job, as soon as he see that check, he throws it in the garbage.
This has even sprung the so-called Ban the Box movement, a campaign aimed at persuading employers to refrain from asking job applicants about their criminal history.
There should be a rational relationship between what is it that you're asking a person to do and how does their past impact that work.
Over 45 U.S. cities and counties and 7 states have banned the box on government job applications. A major retailer, Target, joined in last October. But some experts say that's still not enough.
Looks good.
Michael Swake is a former lawyer. In 1997, after pleading guilty to a financial felony, he voluntarily gave up his law license and served 4 years of probation. Swake believes the lack of education, not the lack of jobs, is fueling recidivism.
On any given day in the United States, there are 4 million people on probation. 70 to 80% of all those people are legally learning disabled in that they read 2 to 3 levels below their age or grade.
This is why he's written a bill for the Illinois House and Senate on incentivized education.
If you get a certificate or you get a degree or you get a diploma, you bring that to your probation officer, and that automatically reduces your probation sentence.
For instructors back at St. Leonard's, the focus is on the basics, how to build up self-esteem.
Failure is a given. If you do choose success, you will fail.
And teach former inmates to find jobs in today's internet-driven world.
They're learning how to do online job applications. They're learning how to work with email. They're learning how to upload their resumes.
It's a complex problem, a challenge officials at this Illinois prison say they strive to address even before the inmates get out.
10 minutes to your group, 10 minutes to your group.
Sheridan Correctional Center calls itself a therapeutic community, one of only 2 Illinois prisons dedicated to helping prisoners with addiction.
You got this piece of paper here?
3 hours a day, inmates here spend in cognitive behavior therapy treatment, which officials believe will help them make better choices once out in the community.
Abuse and addiction have to be addressed by the way that you think, represented by the decisions and the choices that you make on a day-to-day basis.
And now the 3 hours a day inmates spend in class, like shipping and warehousing or welding. To serve their sentence here, inmates must apply, and the smallest deviation in discipline will get them transferred back. For many, serving here has become a life-altering choice.
If I was in another facility, I wouldn't have been thinking positive, or I wouldn't have been working to better myself. I would have been just doing the regular stuff that everyone else does, which is wake up, eat, work out, and go back to sleep.
I might have been dead, the road I was going in.
The cost of housing an inmate at the Sheridan Correctional Facility is nearly $28,000 a year. That's 30% higher than in an average correctional facility in Illinois. But prison officials here say the higher cost is worth the investment. One number, they say, speaks for itself.
Right now, for the department, it's roughly 48%. Our recidivism rate here at Sheridan is about 20% lower.
Hardy says classes and hands-on experience will allow inmates to work in fields with no licensing requirements or even start their own businesses.
Our goal is to take an offender and make him or turn him from a tax consumer into a taxpayer. So the question is, where is your dollar better spent?
John Prince is an ex-Sheridan inmate. With 3 prison sentences behind him, he is now working on his associate degree at St. Leonard's.
You're out of prison, but you still need some help. If you don't have these programs, you're basically left on your own with little more than $20 in a train ticket. So where do you go from there is the skills that they need afterwards.
And that, experts say, could be just one of the pieces needed to break the cycle of revolving door incarceration in the United States, one of the highest in the world. Roza, Kazan, CCTV, Illinois.